If you could talk a little bit about how the online therapy, how your practice is completely online, completely virtual, and how that's just a little bit about that, really, the sort of pros and the cons, and you know how that works for you, why you've decided to go down that route. That would be interesting.
So I worked for 10 years in a specialist tertiary psychoanalytic psychotherapy as a group analyst. And I had never, ever contemplated working online. Never, ever. It was always face-to-face work. And then all of a sudden, COVID came along. And we had such a dramatic change when we had all of the lockdowns. And very suddenly, my whole caseload turned to telephone contact, because at that point, we didn't have the infrastructure to offer online services. I mean, that's now up and running. So it was a completely new area to work on. But I also found myself that I had to shield for a long period of time as well. So my only option was to continue working online. So in many ways, for me, I had a bit of a biased interest. It had to work, but it has worked, and I really enjoy working in this way. I find it's really shifted something in the therapeutic dynamics, because, and that, you know, when people come face to face, they come to my office, they come to my room, it's my setting, they're the guest in my room. But now I'm the guest in your room, or, you know, the client's room. And we get to see all sorts of things. People can make themselves really comfortable. People can have their pets with them if they want to. They can have a drink. They can have they can have a comfy blanket. It also means that when people are traveling, that they don't have to cancel a session, because you can attend from anywhere in the world. And also, I've started to meet so many people I would never have had the opportunity to meet, because when you work face-to-face geographically, there's a limit to the number of people that you can meet. So I've met people from all over the world. It's been fascinating. And I think that's what makes the groups even more interesting, that there's an opportunity now to meet with people from lots of different places.
Yeah.
It's been a really interesting kind of experience in some ways when I think about comparing working face-to-face to kind of being working on Zoom. I mean, when you're in a room together, you kind of get all the smells, and you get to see somebody kind of in their full entirety, really, in some ways, whereas when we're sitting on Zoom, we're kind of from here up. But actually, we get something much more intimate. I think there's so much facial expression. I do get sick of looking at myself, but you know, that I think that's been very difficult, and I think sometimes clients find it difficult to look at themselves, but there are ways to kind of manage that. But listening to people's stories still brings up lots of feelings, and even though we're maybe hundreds of miles away, there's still a real emotional connection that is so moving and really important. But it does maybe take time to settle into this way of being together. But that's the same with meeting somebody in the flesh. When we meet together for the first time, it can take weeks before somebody starts to feel comfortable.